Warning, major spoilers. If you haven't already, please watch my Eliza Story video. It doesn't have any dumb commentary, and it's pure story. And the link to it is in the description below. You have been warned.
Hey ladies and gentlemen, we need to talk. Now, something in Eliza Story mode has been hinted at, and it's something I've been thinking about for quite some time, and that is, where has living weapons come from? Why do they exist? How do they exist? And what does that mean for the whole entire Skullgirls universe? Now, I will tell you that this is my theory, and I will back it up with some images of the Eliza Story mode and just have a little bit of an analysis on it. You can either agree with me or disagree with me, or just have no opinion. Either one's fine, but remember, just if you have an opinion on it, please tell me in chat. So, let's talk, okay? Now, Eliza's Story mode, right off the beginning, right off the bat, we have Eliza talking to Cerebella. And right off the bat, Eliza tells Cerebella that the living weapon of yours may be a powerhouse in a hat, but that strength never belonged to you. You can kind of see that Eliza's telling Cerebella that you don't own, vice versa, that strength isn't yours. And throughout the whole entire story of Eliza, we learn that she feels like parasites are more powerful than humans, and that it's their strength, not the parasite and human strength combined, and it's not just the human strength that the parasite gives, like lends their power to, it is all the parasites. So why would Eliza get offended by Cerebella just saying it's my power, or it's our power, and she had the need to tell off Cerebella saying that living weapon's power is not yours? The need for this is actually kind of a little bit more explored a little bit further when she talks to Samson, when she says that we grace them with power as their champions, and they call us parasites, or reduce our brethren to mere tools. Now you might be thinking, oh, people are just using parasites for mere tools. No. This is what she means. Think about this. Eliza, she's a very, very parasitic person. She really, lets her parasites kind of like take over her, and she's very malicious and all that stuff. But think about this. They stopped Eliza a long time ago, and that Samson and Leviathan both say that you should have been dead, blah 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 blah. But the big thing is, what happens after they stop Eliza? What happens after that? They all know that that parasite's power is enormous, and same thing for all parasites. They probably stopped Eliza with other parasites, so everybody could see all the parasites' power just clashing against each other, and we could see the enormous power. And Eliza even says they were hailed as gods, and that's a huge thing. That's a huge thing, that they were so powerful that they were hailed as gods. Now that could just be Eliza, in her egotism saying that, they should be hailed as gods, but saying that they were, that's a huge amount of power that must have been showcased for people to still think that. Now, after the whole entire battle, and probably the past kingdom being like pretty much ruined by their battle, the real thing is, what do they do after it? Now, here's my theory. Parasites, after that thing, were deemed too dangerous to be allowed. Just too dangerous to be allowed, and they did not want anybody having parasites anymore. That's why, in the Skullgirls universe, having a parasite is frowned upon or shamed. But the big thing is, with big kingdoms like the Kennedy Kingdom, they need to have a strong military, and they know that parasites have such great power. Why waste that power? And that goes back to Cerebella, Eliza telling Cerebella and Samson that they use them as mere tools, and that that's not their power. This is where living weapons come from. In my theory, living weapons are nothing more than lobotomized parasites. Now, Alex Ahad actually, in Skullgirls canon, living weapons have no free will, and that's a huge thing. They have no free will, and they are dependent on their human like users, to survive. That's a huge thing. Taking a parasite and lobotomizing it to not have free will or emotions, and just making it solely under your power, making that parasite's power directly yours, without having a huge, outbreak of parasites, or having the whole entire, communities just thinking, oh, he's using parasites are evil. Having a lobotomized parasite with their power completely under government control, that is a major thing. And that a military police force like the Black Units giving Parasol and Umbrella lobotomized parasites or living weapons is a huge thing. Everybody's okay with living weapons. They might not know that it's a lobotomized parasites, but everybody's okay with living weapons, even though the living weapons might be very powerful, but it's all under human control. It's all human controlled. Now, a very important thing to show, even though Alex Ahed's thing says that they have no emotion, they have to depend on humans, they have no emotion, and they just have to depend on humans. In his canon for Skullgirls, there is one living weapon that actually shows us a little bit of his parasite side. And this actually connects to Double as well. And not too many people think about this, and it's Hungarin. Hungarin has a little bit of free will. Because in Umbrella's proposed gameplay, it was all about Hungarin being way too hard to control, and, just lashing out at the people that are trying to attack his user, trying to attack Umbrella. That's a little bit of free will. You can see that they're not completely lobotomized, devoid of free will, devoid of emotion, because you can see, even in the picture of Cerebella and Eliza, that even vice versa gets mad about Eliza detracting from their bond of sharing their powers. And it seems like a lot of the parasites consider themselves sharing their powers, and not that their power is directly theirs. You can see that in Leviathan when he talks about how he wants to work with people instead of working over them or working against them, with the people that have the same morals as him in the story mode. But the big thing is that it all makes sense canonly, because if something like that happened, where Eliza almost destroys the world with her just planning about, making parasites the most important things ever, making them gods even, killing gods with Aeon and Venus, that's a huge thing that had to have some sort of consequence to parasites in general. That would get people scared of parasites no matter what. Even if it was just Eliza doing that, that would get people scared of parasites no matter what, because that shows how powerful a parasite could be. And that's super important to note, that how powerful they could be, but how useful their power could be if they're under human control, under government control. And that's why living weapons are nothing more than the lobotomized parasites. So then the government and Parasol, Black Units, and people that own living weapons can use their power responsibly. Nobody trusts parasites to use their power responsibly, but they trust humans to. And that's the big thing. So, what do you guys think? Do you think I'm crazy with this? I've already asked a bunch of people, so most of them do agree with this theory of mine. So, please tell me, disagree or agree, tell me in the comments below, and please consider subscribing. I know this is the first kind of analysis and theories thing, but this really did inspire me, because this, blew my mind when I thought about it. And it does definitely sound canon. So please, tell me in the comments below what you feel about my theory. Thank you for watching, and have a nice day.